o'clock is open, Jim. Corrected. At 6:30, I call the meeting to order, and everyone is here except for Rich Cormier, and he's in Florida enjoying the warmth down there. So Ryan, I will appoint you to fill in for Rich tonight. Okay, and so we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of October 28th, 2025. No, wait a minute, sorry.
December
Wait a
9th.
minute, I'm looking at the wrong agenda.
How about December 9th?
Yes, December 9th, 2025.
Those are the right ones.
Yes,
I make that motion and to waive the reading.
okay.
I'll
and
second it.
Thank you, both. And one correction on the minutes is over under new business, item 1C, the date of the meeting. The comprehensive plan meeting will be January 27 rather than January 20. Any other additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, motion carried. All righty. Do something like this. Okay, we do not have any old business to come before the board. However, which of you will be introducing? Melanie, are you going to introduce?
I was going to let Jeff
Danny or
introduce it.
Jeff? Okay, so Jeff, we'll turn it over to you to introduce Danny.
Oh, well, you just did it. That's Danny. No, there's Danny Moody will be taking my old job, Jay's old job, and he's in training.
The group.
And you're local, you live locally?
I live in Cornville, actually.
Cornville.
About 20, 25 minutes out.
Okay, can you tell us a little about yourself? Maybe others know you.
I think I briefly met you the other day, but just a quick,
Right.
yeah. You want to know like my work history or anything?
No, just in general, a little bit about yourself so we know who we're going to be working for. I knew Jeff, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of interested in this. Previously, I went to school for electrical, so I was interested in code stuff. I just recently, at my past job was project manager for a company, ServPro. So we got into kind of like a lot of demolition and some construction stuff with that. So I'm kind of familiar with some of that. I just recently built my own home, and it was good. I did my own plumbing and stuff like that. Very interested in code, so when I was doing that, that's kind of where I've developed the interest to want to do this, basically. So, and anything else you guys like to know? You're more than happy. Yeah.
Got $1 million in small and marked bills to hand us?
No, no.
That sounds like a bribe.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, glad you're here tonight. We'll be seeing more of you. And if you ever have any questions, any of us on the board, but particularly, obviously for training, be Jeff Drew, and then Jay Watt has a tremendous amount of experience as well, so.
So two of my
Excellent source
students
of
are here.
information. Pardon?
Two of my students are here. Melanie is also training to be a code enforcement
Oh,
officer.
really?
I will not be giving up planning. It's a little bit of both.
But for the experience and to be able to do some of that. Excellent.
And
That'll,
hopefully the unincorporated territories, I'll just be doing permits up there. So
as if you don't have enough on your plate already.
yeah, another set.
Okay, wonderful. Alrighty, and so item number 2, discussion on subdivision ordinance and new housing laws. So Melanie,
So just to begin with, I gave you guys these. These are from Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission. They just created these kind of one-pager, quick summaries of the laws that are going to be affecting subdivision and probably site review. LD 1829 is the big one. An act to build housing for Maine families and attract workers to Maine businesses by amending laws governing housing density. So essentially, this will be changing how many ADUs and dwelling units are allowed per lot. And it also, within growth areas and areas that have plumbing or water and sewer, it minimizes the lot size. So the minimum lot size you can have would be 20,000 square feet, and towns cannot really dictate that they have to be bigger than that. And the purpose of this is to kind of create density. This is also going to be requiring training and education for planning board staff, so it will require that you guys receive training probably yearly. That's something we're preparing for at KV Cog to provide that. Also, this is going to be affecting just zoning in general. And this, with these laws, they'll need to be updated in our ordinance, not this July 2026, but July 2027, because we're not a council type government. LD 997 is essentially allowing residential units in commercial zones, and essentially this just establishes in the ordinance a limit to number of the residential units allowed in commercial zones.
So when you say residential units, you're talking houses or apartment buildings or? Okay, so apartments above businesses don't count, right?
I think that
Because we
probably
already do
would.
that. Because we already have that.
We already have that.
Okay.
So I think in a lot of ways, this one should not be as big of a deal because we don't have much zoning in Madison. So this one's not going to be pertaining to us as much. But if we had a zone, for instance, that was an industrial zone, it would be allowed there. LD 1427 is about parking requirements. So essentially you cannot require more than one off-street parking space per dwelling unit. Which, again, I'm not sure that's gonna affect Madison terribly, but it is something to consider. Within our subdivision ordinance, I gave it a look over and there are a few things that we could discuss. But I do think that wrapping our head around LD 1827 is probably a good first step. I'm gonna suggest we probably should start that in the fall or this summer.
You mean 1829?
1829, thank you. I was looking at the 7 on this.
It's kind of an extension of 2003.
Yeah.
What, you said it's going to require us to have some training. What does that entail? You know?
Has anyone taken the MMA planning board training?
We
It'll
all
be
should
very
have.
similar to that, so it's gonna cover planning board basics, meeting, board of appeals, subdivision, site reviews, essentially everything you guys do with shoreline zoning. We're not entirely sure what the training is gonna be required to look like because we don't have the final rulemaking on the law yet.
So it will be, will it be a part of that current program?
I think MMA is working to make sure that that their trainings will meet those requirements for the law.
Okay. Ryan, you've taken that training, right?
No.
Okay, you sure you sign up to get it as soon as you can?
I'll see when the
You can
next one is
Zoom it.
emailed to you.
You
Yeah,
don't
I
have
missed
to
it because
come.
I was out of town the last time, but
Mhm.
should be able to hopefully make it work.
Right, yeah.
So do we need to follow the new dwelling unit density
We,
before we
yes,
update our ordinance?
yes.
Hmm.
It's very similar with LD 2003 with how many dwelling units are allowed per lot. Even if your ordinance did not allow that, it was required to per state law. I dealt with that with Hollowell because they didn't have their ordinance up to date, but had ADU applications, so we had to go by state law, not the ordinance.
They're stepping on home rule.
Yeah, because this kind of undoes zoning in a way, does it not? Because when communities have tried to keep residential separate so that you would have an area that would draw people and be a nice place for families and so on, quiet, away from everything, and be able to concentrate your development, you know, your business' industry in one place. Is it because because of the shortage of housing, is that why we're going that way, or is there some
It
other
is.
reason behind that?
It all pretty much goes back to the lack of housing in the state. I think a lot of what the legislatures did with 1829 is more effective in southern Maine, in areas that have more sprawl. I think that is essentially the ultimate goal, is to prevent sprawl. Again, I'm not sure how much this is gonna be helpful to our area or Madison with creating more housing opportunity, but it's required, so. There will be, also within the legislature right now, in the second session, they will be discussing potentially changing the definition of subdivision, so that's gonna be, because this pretty much overrides subdivision as well. would not be allowed to conduct review on essentially creating 4 dwelling units. Like, I think if it's 4 units within a building, that doesn't count as subdivision anymore. Does that make sense?
It used to be 3, now it'll be up to 5. And this won't affect shoreland zoning.
Shoreline zoning pretty much trumps all.
Right.
So as
So-
far as,
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No.
as far as designated growth areas, it's not really specific in here.
And that is something we will have to really work on with the comprehensive plan.
Yeah, okay.
That is something within the future land use chapter of the comprehensive plan. That's really where we're going to have to decide where our growth areas are, if we want to expand them, if they're good the size they are. So, and we'll definitely create a new map as well, to be very clear on where they are. I do suggest that that's a discussion, the future land use chapter is a discussion that the planning board should be in on, because it does
Right,
impact the work that we do here.
I agree with that. So this leads me to wonder if so you can have residential buildings in industrial or business areas. Does that then open the door for businesses or industry to be built within residential areas? You see what I'm
Good
saying? I mean, does
question.
it, if the community is trying to, like we are trying to do, guide industry and business into growth areas, and other towns are accomplished just by zoning, but does it totally just upset the apple cart entirely?
I'm not sure, but let me see if I can talk.
I'm
to-
just curious about that one,
Yeah. One of the bigger issues that towns have been discussing with this is it does also eliminate the height maximum. So you cannot, towns can no longer say that you have a max height of 35 feet. Which a lot of communities have been complaining that that's a fire hazard, especially if their fire department does not have the equipment to be able to get up that high. So that's something to consider as well.
Okay, do you have anything else on that?
No, I do not.
Any questions? All right, so you have provided us, well, I guess this would come under any other business that you covered in the house and lots. Okay, under any other business, we then provided the mobile home park rent fee stabilization ordinance. This is a draft, Waterville's draft. Melanie, would you kind of discuss this?
Robin had sent out that article from the Central Maine News about Waterville and what they're doing with their mobile home park rent and fee stabilization. So I got in touch with their planner, and this is the draft that will be going before the city council again on January 20th. All of Waterville's meetings are on something called Crossroad TV. So they are available online if anyone does want to watch that meeting. Otherwise, you can just let me fill you in. I'll probably be watching it. Essentially, what they're doing here is establishing in ordinance how much mobile home park owners can raise rent and when they can do that. It also requires hearings for certain rent raises, but not for others. So it would require that it go before the select board or the planning board, depending on what we choose. But this is just a fairly good example. This is a better version I've seen of mobile home park or just rent stabilization in general. But I just wanted to provide it for your information.
And I thought this was something that we should be considering as a planning board, since they're made, Robbins Park is up for sale. And that's the only one here in town, right?
Yes,
No. We have 2 more.
Two,
but it's the only one that's for
It's the
sale.
only one for sale.
sale,
Yes.
yeah.
So there's 3 total?
Two
Okay, so
total.
where are they?
One's over on Oak Street, which is a private road off of Preble Ave, and the other one's Robbins.
So that's two.
So there's 2.
That's what I said, two.
Oh,
You said three.
okay.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
three.
He said three, I said two.
Okay.
I said 3 in the question.
That one over on Oak
Is it
Street
three?
is a private gentleman who owns that. The one, I'm in is, an LLC that owns it out of, Lewiston. And there's, in this particular sale, is not only including my own home park, but 4 others around the state that are owned by CJK Realty. So, and there's not a binding contract at the moment, although all the realty, listings say it's pending, but there is an interested buyer in 5 parks and all. And God only knows what's gonna happen.
That is a real concern for.
The letter I received after I finally put it on Facebook that our park was being sold and we weren't told. All of a sudden, we all received certified letters. And even though they redacted the buyer, you can see somewhat of the name. And it looks like it could be a big conglomerate buying us. And it's concerning, there's a lot of elderly and disabled in my park, and as it is, our lot rents are horrendous.
What is a lot? Or does
It depends
vary?
it varies, it depends, I think, on how long you've been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the new ones that are coming in are getting higher rates to have to pay to begin with. I'm right now at, I don't even know, I haven't paid this month's lot rent, but it went up. I'm over 300.
What's an average? Can you looking at what an average lot rent might be there?
In there, I
Mhm.
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, because when Tim Ames owned it, we all had different ones, and then when CJK Realty came in, I don't know what they did. We ended up having to pay for a lot more things when CJK Realty came in. We weren't paying for, I think it was sewer, we were paying for water, but not sewer, and then all of a sudden we're paying for that now. So we're getting less and less for our lot rent.
And that's a big concern for people on real limited
Yep.
incomes, and I think in Waterville, weren't they up higher, like around 5, going up to 5?
There are
600?
there were 5 going up to 600. And they're real nice properties there too. So it's not like we have this grand and glorious piece of property.
Jeff?
So just an FYI, I have spoken with the owner of the other mobile home park, and it is for sale. He wants to retire. So
Oh, it is selling. I haven't seen it listed.
it's not
By
any
word of
listing.
mouth.
Yeah. He wants some silly amount that's,
And he
Yeah,
owns 90% or all those trailers there now, right? He rents them out.
yeah, well, no, not all of them are, some of them are owned.
Are they?
Yeah.
I know he was working towards all of them, he and his own.
Yeah.
I know out of 35 of ours, 11 are owned by the management company. A lot of them are in great disrepair.
The ones that are owned by the management company?
Yeah,
Are they fixing those up?
they haven't been, no. Not really. Not really, and the ones that live there that are keeping them, or even own them, they send out an annual letter in the spring, and you must do this, you must do that, but they don't follow up. So the properties look like crap, and, and I just happened, the ironic thing is I just happened upon this particular listing. I didn't even know. It was until I was looking at something else that this listing popped up, and I went, what?
That's the part that we, the board reviewed, right? Didn't we review that mobile home park, several years ago, that there were things that needed to be done?
That was when Tim Ames owned it,
Okay.
and you guys were still meeting over at the town
Right.
office. That was right before he sold it, and he had to either put it all to, he had promised to pave all the roads.
Right.
So then then he paved them, and then he took out some of the pavement, and we ended up with dirt road. I don't even remember at this point who ended up doing the paving, but it's done.
It is done.
It's done up until the last trailer that's there, and then there's still, it goes around to,
John Street.
yeah,
Jones Street.
Street, and it's not paved over there.
Right, it's all dirt road until past the substation, and then it turns to pavement further up on Jones Street.
So, there's a lot of room for expansion there. There's a whole, I guess it's 50-something spaces that can be there. But
Would it be worthwhile to review that again, that map and the requirements that we had to see if things have been met or not, or is that beyond us at this point?
A lot of that information left with Bobby Dumpy, my father, Doug Denico, the old regime. I don't know
We
if we
don't-
still have that
we should
information.
have
There
that.
might be some
Would it be in the
information.
property file?
Huh?
Would it be in the property file?
It might be in the property file, and I can show Danny that Thursday.
Yeah, it should be there because I thought we voted on that more recently than,
oh, not since I've been on the board.
That was just before I came on the board.
okay.
And what was it, Dad and Doug Denico and Bobby Dumpy, Mark Leslie, I think may have been on there. And that's right about the time when you started, I think.
Right about the time what?
Mary started.
No, Mary was on, yeah.
I was on.
I remember she,
Yeah.
I remember you, she was on the board when,
Dad and
there
Doug
was a
Denico.
hearing about the paving.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
She asked quite a few
You
questions.
were part of that crew then.
Yep.
right.
So, yeah.
Because I came on around 2007 or 8, I think.
I moved in there in 2008.
Right.
Yeah, so it must have been around
2000, no, I'm
maybe.
sorry, 2007 I moved in there.
Okay, so, all right, well,
Anything comes up in the file, I'll make copies for the next meeting.
okay, just out of curiosity, because, if we set that and those things should have been done and they were never done, then I'm concerned about that.
That's changed ownerships a couple times since then.
Right.
We went from Tim Ames to CJK Realty.
Literally.
Yep,
I thought it was
that's all
somebody
it's
else.
been.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was somebody else before bought it
Nope.
too.
Tim Ames to CJK.
Okay.
There's just only one over.
They go.
No.
I only went through one sales so far.
Okay, any other business to come before the board? No? Okay.
I will just remind everybody that the comprehensive plan meeting is the 4th Tuesday of the month, so that will be on January 27th at 6:30 right here.
And
Are you
that-
gonna publish ahead of time what sections are being considered?
Yes. I was gonna put those on the website this week.
Because board members do not have to attend all those meetings, but you're certainly encouraged to do so, particularly if there's something that you're interested in or you seem to have a lot more investment or knowledge about. So I know you worked on transportation for a while, didn't you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, maybe you guys never got
Yeah.
to meet, so.
I think transportation was one of the last chapters to get
Right.
finished.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, when the water resources chapter, at least having a look at it,
Oh,
would be
definitely.
Yeah.
Environmental concerns too, so, okay. So, these comprehensive plan meetings will be the second Tuesday of the month. However, if we have public hearings or other business that we need to do, then the comprehensive plan meeting will not occur or will be delayed until after the board meeting.
Those will be held with you.
Yeah.
At 6:30. So, all right. Any concerns, Mark? Robin?
You heard mine.
Jay?
I'm all set.
Ryan? Okay, I have none, so it is 6:55. Meeting is adjourned.